One, and we live. GM.
GM.
Yeah. Let's
What's goody?
go.
As Marty likes to say, talk to me nice.
Mm,
Talk to me nice, dude. I've been saying that for 15 years.
30 years.
I haven't been
Yeah.
saying it that
In
long.
the
I
womb.
started saying it. Started saying it when the Uzi song came out, but I I literally thought that's why you said it. I'm like, oh, fellow Uzi enjoyer. Hello there.
No, no, no. I've just been saying this when I was selling ladas, you know?
How is importing those lattes? I've heard it's a bit difficult to get from Russia to Eastern Europe right now. I bet it'd be even harder to get from Russia to Brazil.
Yeah, when you import cars to Brazil, you're totally screwed. You're totally screwed because you have to pay like some crazy tax and like when you see a Tesla here, you're like, holy fuck, that guy paid fucking 4x the price to get a Tesla here.
It's always been really
It's so
wild to
lame.
me that like the luxury cars in Europe, a lot of times are like, some guy with a Corvette or a fucking like, souped out Camaro. And you know, like people don't really want those here. You have the small group that like,
Yeah.
really, really loves their American cars, but other than that, um, I love JC. Oh, we got some people on here. Let's see.
That was from Friday.
You sure? These ones just came in. Jack Hout. Can I has hi? Hi,
Oh no,
Jack.
the Love JC is from Friday for sure.
Nah, see, that's from right now.
Yeah, no. Hi, can I has hi. It's from Jack Hot is from today.
Yep.
See how the I Love JC is from 10 p.m. and it's 10 p.m.
I see the times. Yeah. I was
12
just
p.m.
saying that
Eastern.
like he's back. I was just saying that same guy. Yeah, he's here.
Got it.
11:11. I made a wish for you. Yeah, I've always thought that was it kind of like I don't know, it was mind-boggling to me. You'd think that they still just pay an arm and a leg for like the highest end Mercedes or a fucking Range Rover or something. Uh, but no,
Here
it's
we
like
actually have all
Chargers.
those we have all that shit that is super expensive in America. We have the Toyota Banderanchi, which is the FJ Cruiser, the old one. You know, the one that's like 100 stacks. They're like 4 grand here, and all those Defenders, all those old school Land Rover Defenders, the
I love
110
those.
and
I
the
Just
I
start
130s, the
fucking
start an
love.
trucks.
export business, dude. Those are
Those
hard
are
to come by.
cheaper.
One in good shape is pretty hard to come by.
Oh, we
I
got
love
plenty
the
here.
old Range
It's the one
Rovers,
with the old metal body, right?
Yeah, dude, the
like the early
130 is the
2000
best one,
versions.
dude. The 130 is the truck. It has
Those
a
like
truck bed.
early mid 2000 models where it was like I don't know, the back. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe the back of it because that's what kind of made the car like it has a lot of like straight edges to it, I guess you could say. Um, and it doesn't conform to the typical like box look that the Land Rover had at the time. Because the Land Rover was like really boxy. It like um, very much in
It's
parallel with like the
just
G
fucking
wagons back
square,
then.
dude. Just a
Yeah,
fucking rectangle.
and then the Range had like it was like hexagonal like in the back, the way that it kind of the way the back glass mirror and trunk door kind of opened, or that architecture was. And something about that, like I loved that aesthetic. And even now, like I still love the G wagons. I think then it was because they were so fucking ugly that like it was just like the fuck you car because you knew that everyone was disgusted by it, but they knew you dropped like 150 grand to buy it. And now I still love it for the same reason because it's just as fucking ugly 15 years later, 20 years later, and it costs even more money. So there's no
We got
bigger fuck
we
you than
got
driving
plenty of those
ugliest.
fuckers, dude. We can just do an import of fucking quails, quail eggs, and defenders, and those FJ cruisers, dude. For some reason, those things are so fucking cheaper.
What are the like popular cars that you see down there? Are there some Brazilian like native car brands that you see a lot of, or is it mainly like Toyotas, Hondas, and shit like that?
Uh, The best one, the Brazilian one, is a Shaddy. It's spelled like cherry with one R. It's a native Brazilian car, but honestly, you see a lot of Fiats. Like cars that are like 10 grand, 15 grand, Peugeots, Fiats. Dude, the Shaddy was a fucking. It's like the Brazilian Lada. It's like that bad. Like, dude, I'm gonna send you one right now. It's fucking terrible. You're like, what is this?
Is it because
So
they're
yeah,
cheap? Because they drive around the terrain well? Like, what is the appeal
dude,
about
look
them?
at that, dude. Just look at that. I don't know, dude. Look at that thing.
Oh, is it like a
What
Yara?
is
It's
that
like
thing?
is it like a car that costs
It's
like
like a
7 grand?
Fiat 500. Yeah, it's like a
What's it
Fiat
called?
500. It's called a
Okay.
Shaddy with one R, Cherry with one R.
All right, we'll pull it.
And now they make some nice ones. They make ones that are like 60 G's now. Like the SUVs. But mostly it's Fiats, Peugeots, shit like that. And we have the factory here. So that's the difference is they make them here. So all the imports, all the Mercedes, all the Teslas, Porsches are like
All right, let's see.
2-3x the price.
All right, a Sherry A1 car model. The concept. Ooh, the concept. What is this? A fucking bee? A Brazilian bee?
Bees. No, they have a new one, the Shaddy Gigo.
E3.
Tiggo. Tiggo. That thing's sick. It's like a Hyundai or whatever.
You guys been watching that coin price?
Yes.
Up or
coins
down?
are down.
Dude.
Coins are down. Are you
Dude,
talking about Coin the stock?
Oh, I'm talking about Coinbase. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, okay.
Coinbase
I
is
thought
going
you
to
were talking
retire
about
me
Coin
before
Express.
the actual
Hell
coins
yeah, dude.
do.
I will tell you this: Froggy, as bad as he is at trading imaginary internet coins, he is the polar opposite at trading,
Trade fi
real world
options.
assets. Yeah, don't fade Froggy on his boomer calls, but you fade him on his on-chain calls.
Dude, I'm pretty sure like of my TradeFi wealth, coin and Nvidia make up I think like 60% of the portfolio now.
Coin's going to 500.
Oh, Nvidia is at least 60, and AMD.
I didn't buy any AMD, but Nvidia is definitely up, and I've been DCing an A since they had their ICO, since they had their since Coinbase had their ICO. But I went heavy about a year ago between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
And so
it's really easy money. Like,
it's so
Coinbase
easy.
every
I mean, we
year,
work
every
in the
cycle.
space. If you believe in it, it's easy. It was easy.
It's the #1 app every cycle in the App Store. Like, it's just fucking, it's free money. Oh, Coinbase is down. Oh, crypto's never coming back. It's all going to zero. It's all a scam. I hear that every 4 years. Yeah, and coins.
So is this cycle gonna keep going?
Oh, I mean, dude, with the Binance drama over, I don't want to say it, but like, how much worse?
The skies are looking great, dude. We don't, there's no storm clouds in the horizon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no.
We're just
I
a
don't
moth
know of
to
any,
light.
Yeah, there's no exchange large enough, like in comparison to like FTX or Binance, where something could happen right now that it would cause like a shockwave through the whole industry.
Okay.
So I just don't see.
So the bottom's in.
I think the bottom was in a while ago.
We might even have a local
It's all
bottom
priced
tonight.
in.
NFA. As CZ used to say, NFA.
Yeah, 4.
For NFA.
Hey. 4. Yeah, so the bottom's in. Everything's up only. People are fucking nibbling those 40, 45K calls and putting on little call spreads. People are just going for it, dude. All in one day at a time.
Well, it's the holiday season, you know what they say.
Santa rally.
Bet more. When you gotta bet more.
Yeah, I just need things to kind of turn around for by Friday this week, because I've been just rolling. I've been rolling all options.
I've been rolling rollador.
I just been rolling them fucking on the weeklies. So
all in, just all of it.
Oh no, so like I started with a little bit, and I think it's like I don't know. I mean, I started with a little bit. I think it's I'm just doing it on Risk because I've been playing around with Risk, the platform Risk.
Mm-hmm.
My friends over at Risk. I just been rolling it, dude. And I think the last one I got out at, it was like I had 10 ETH, but I got out at, it was 2,000 strike, but I got out at like $800 dollars, and I just rolled that all into fucking 2250 Fridays.
So you're contributing
Back.
to the losses
degeneracy.
that the LPs are incurring on their platform.
I'm stress testing the framework, you know, stress testing the framework. Dude, right now, because the market's down, dude, you can buy those 2250s for like $4 a contract.
Really?
Dude, it's worth a little play, I think.
Yeah,
NFA,
I'm
of course.
I'm gonna have to spend some time today. NFA.
NFA.
If you make money here from the calls, send a little to DK. Send a little bonus check.
I'll tell you what, though, over the weekend, someone definitely arbs between our platform and Risk because if you look at for the strikes that we overlap on and for the expirations we strikes and over that the vault is quoting, it's like a $1 delta between our price and their price. They're like pretty much spot on. So someone's arbing that down between the two platforms for sure. Which is, I mean, that's what we like to see, right? We'd like to see that.
Makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you seen any other arbs going on during the STIP because of the increased kind of activity on Arbitrum right now? People taking advantage of.
You know what's funny is actually the week that's like November 15th was like the peak of protocol, at least for the ones that were like live at the time, was like peak activity, and it's been kind of like trending down. But overall activity on Arbitrum is popping. So I don't know if it's like now we're starting to see some of the bots come into play, because I found like the STIP goat this weekend. It's got to be a bot. That is literally got his hands in everything, right? Like probably like 15 different projects in STIP, and it's just rolling all the money all around.
Just a stipper.
He's just a stipper, and they must have some optimization functions. Because this is where you see like the large market buys on like specific tokens, in which those tokens you can use to provide liquidity on a DEX, and then that's only in that DEX for like, I don't know, 8 hours, like farms for 8 hours, and like spin unwinds that position. So like it's doing a bunch of crazy stuff. But I see it in Camel,
intraday yield.
It's in fucking Premia, it's in Silo, it's all over the place. And the transactions for when it does the claiming and the farm claiming is like, I don't know, 100 transactions in 10 minutes, maybe. So either it's a turbo Otis and like just fucking.
I was gonna say, DK has never seen me on staking positions across.
Yeah, so it's either that, and they just got like a flow, and then like every few hours they come back and they just like go through their like claim. Or it's a bot. But that account I think had like 400,000 transactions.
Jesus.
So that's why I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
And we're seeing like something like 2 million transactions a day on Arbitrum. This account in total had 400,000, but not like a day. But yeah, I think we saw like 2 million transactions at Arbitrum yesterday or something. It's just like almost approaching like airdrop high. But I think the user count has kind of been trending down, but the transaction count has been trending up. I need to confirm that, but I think the larger farmers are here. That's what I'm trying to say. They're taking the yields from the little guys. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Did you know that you could get yield by locking up your money for 3 months in a multi-sig?
Did you see Paradigm? Dan from Paradigm came out this weekend about that.
Yeah, Blast is backed but not endorsed by Paradigm.
Yeah, it was like,
dude, I was talking shit, and somebody texted me like, "Oh, you should take that down," blah blah blah. So I took it down.
I don't know. Did you send him
regret?
That's
And
what it was
then,
about.
yeah, and then I had some regret for deleting the tweet. And then I was
He
like,
talked to the devil on his
fuck
shoulder,
them.
Cozy. He said, "What would Cozy
Fuck
do?"
them.
Dude, it's that
Cozy
easy
would
to
fire
censor
his
you, huh?
PR team. Yeah, he
Mhm.
talked to Cozy and he remembered, what would Cozy do? Cozy would fire
Hmm.
his PR team
Yeah,
and tell them to go fuck
Cozy would
themselves.
actually double down. Actually,
Yeah, I would
Yeah, I
double
did.
down,
I
to be
did. I
honest.
did. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
He did.
they still
It's like
I
haven't
fired
really
them.
video.
disclosed that like all the people on the timeline that are pushing blasts are in the seed round.
Yeah.
Well, they
That's a little
did.
conflict of interest.
They did on there was a tweet thread where they tagged them
Okay.
all, and I feel bad for some of the people who have been catching some strays. like Carbon was one of them. There've been some memes going around. It's like in the trenches, and it's got his picture in it. He's like, I'm not even in the fucking seed round. Like everyone on CT is in that seed round except for me and Carbon. Um,
But
I
the
was
Dan,
telling him,
go ahead.
go ahead, the
I
Dan
was gonna
what?
say the Dan Robinson post is funny because it's like, we had all these great ideas. We don't endorse their marketing and PR, methodologies and how they did things. We didn't look over any of this, marketing documentation. But it's funny because it's, they did that after everyone deposited. It's not, you can't withdraw. So, so, let everyone deposit, all right? Let it accrue 500 million in TVL and then publicly be like, shame on you, blast,
How could
shame
you?
on
Auntie.
you. But there's nothing we can do about it now.
The the thing that was said by a friend of mine who's worked with them through like fundraising grant type stuff was he's like, if I give them the benefit of the doubt, like maybe they weren't, a part of, we don't know how involved they are with everything that was going on. They could have just helped with lining up, investors for the seed round and all that kind of stuff and not paid too much attention to the details of the marketing. But they worked with them through Blast and backed them on Blast, and they did the same type of marketing for Blast. Only this time, the marketing material was much more blatant as to what was happening. So rather than be ambiguous like they were with Blur, this time they laid it all out there for everyone with Blast. So like, yeah, I don't believe that they didn't know. You worked with them through the last project, backed them on the last project. They did the same exact thing on the last one, and that's what I said to some of my friends who were involved with that. I said, like I was trying to get in prior, but I didn't know anything about it. I just knew L2 yield at native yield at the base layer at the start of a bull market. It sounds like a pretty easy win if it's backed by people who are somewhat legitimate. And then a few days later, I saw the website go up, so like I knew rounds closed. I'm not getting in there, and I saw some material finally for it. And when I saw the page that showed the squads and like earning, I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, why would anyone like not push back on this? And then I got happy. I'm like, I'm so glad that like I didn't just throw someone money to like take part in this. Um, because I don't know if dealing with that type of like heat is like worth it. Like maybe it is. Maybe the 20x you're gonna get in 3 months from your seat or a year from now. When your tokens are locked, you still get like a 10 to 20x. Like sure, maybe it was worth it, but I don't know. You know me, DK. I'm like pretty. It's the one thing I'm pretty cautious about is like slapping my name on things to get looped into.
There's no tokens. There's just
I'm
points that you
I'm
can
like
use to redeem for
I measure
wearables in the
everything
metaverse.
like value is such a important thing to me. Like I measure everything on value and like not what it costs, but like what is it worth, right? Like the true meaning of value. It's like why Morton's or Ruth Chris can charge what they charge for a fillet, and you can get a fillet, at a regular steakhouse for fucking $30, right? It's because of value, because people, want the experience. They pay for everything that comes with like having that piece of meat at the table, and I measure like the value versus like the negative expected value of like what I'm going to do with like any kind of like third party engagement. Like if I'm gonna back someone or like put my name on something, like I have to be pretty sure that uh, there's nothing they're doing that's gonna come back to like tarnish me. That's why I try to not post about anything but like premia or shit posting, or
Mm.
like Arbitrum related stuff. You know, it just like keeps you out of trouble. You don't want to. I remember like all of our like buddies in Discord, they are like deep in the trenches of all the like new shit coins popping up, always sharing stuff like. And I dropped one in there one day, and it goes up 2x. So I hop in the shower. I'm like, all right, this is gonna run like AI shitcoin narrative. I get out of the shower and I'm down 90%. And I'm like, this is why I don't share stuff with people. Like for shitters, it's either it runs and everyone's like up 10, 20x, or it like immediately goes to zero and then you feel like an asshole. It's like even something like that where it's like I know we're all just gambling and we're all just like throwing money at dog shit that we know could go to zero. I don't like sharing even that kind of stuff with like my friends that know it's going to go to zero because I don't want it to come back and be like, yeah, you lost us all our money. Not
Hey,
all our
You
money,
gotta be
but you know what I
careful.
mean.
well,
Shilling
Yeah.
fucking
you can trade
vaporware
futures on it
people.
on BitMEX, I think.
Hmm. Well, that's a nice product.
Yeah, so
Distinguished
if you
product.
if you want to throw some money at it, you can always short it. Not you specific. I'm just saying, like some people want to speculate on it. I think BitMEX. I don't know if it's open yet or not, but I'm pretty sure they're listing a futures market on it, pre-token futures market.
Prior to seeing some of the whales who usually help support on-chain season be pretty publicly angry with Blast, and then seeing some of these large deposits go in that were significantly larger than most.
Oh, you think they got into the seed?
I don't think they got into the seed, so I think that they're going to revenge farm and like send the chart to fucking Hades so quickly um
Oh,
at
I see
launch.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wait till the
Like
airdrop
they
and then open all shorts.
yeah, open all shorts, fucking you and a couple other guys who have each sent over, 10, 20,000 ETH. You just dump it to fucking zero. It's free money for you. You earned yield. You got free tokens. Like, and you get to destroy, some project that you're butthurt about because they didn't ask you to invest.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
why
Send it all
didn't
to
Blair?
zero.
If what Paradigm said is true, which is that in the discussions, this is supposed to be a layer 2 or 3 or whatever that specifically is supposed to facilitate like blur transactions, right? It was supposed to be a
Well, it
blur specific
spawned out of
capture.
that, right? It spawned out of his want to create an L2 to better support Blur. Yeah, but uh, I don't know. I think NFT perps are fucking dead on arrival. I don't think that's like gonna be the big thing that people think. Um, so like, what else? I don't know.
They're,
I'm
they're,
not trying to be
they're-
a doomer. Like I feel like that these kind of
Ah,
takes
fuck 'em.
are probably mid curve, but like I just don't, as someone who quote unquote like builds in the space, I don't understand what DeFi protocols, the ones that actually attract the TVL and the transaction volume, are going to deploy there and try to either bifurcate the liquidity they have now and fracture it by putting an instance on blast, or are going to deploy like a version that's, you know what I mean. I'm
no,
lost
I
at
mean
that
these
part.
are
Like
NFT guys, right? They haven't thought that far down the line.
I said that in a tweet. Someone said something about, like why didn't they just do this? I'm like, because they're not DeFi devs, they're NFT devs.
Yeah, they have a completely
Hmm.
different perspective, and I don't.
I'm gonna short USDB to zero.
Mm.
You gotta wait for the right time, but that'll probably be a godly
No,
trade.
it's either 1 or 0.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's not going to be
Yeah, but you got to pay
1.5.
funding on that, right? That's the thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna be paying an interest rate, and if your funding rate carry is higher than what you're gaining on that native yield, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But maybe if you get the points, it's all about the points,
Oh,
right?
I forgot
So,
about that
like,
juice point.
yeah. If you get some juicy points and all the collectibles and all the metaverse wearables that you're going to get, it might be
Mm,
worth paying the funding.
I keep saying this to people. I wouldn't give two shits, right? Like I'm not one of the people that cares about the Lido centralization aspect of it. I'm not someone that cares that, hey, you're sending it to a multi-sig. Like, look, we do some retarded shit on chain, okay? Like that is the least of my worries, sending my money to a you know, uh 3 of 5
Genesis.
multi-sig. Yeah, that is the least of my worry. The part that, like, if they would have gone without the Ponzi part of it, the multi-level marketing scheme, I wouldn't have a fucking thing to say. Like, I wouldn't give
Yeah,
two
zero,
shits,
zero. I'd
zero
shut up.
fucks, right? Like, but the fact that they launched and pushed this as a multi-level marketing scheme, and they got a bunch of people who are more respected, quote unquote, in the industry to jump on board and back them. That part, like, kind of made me feel sick, like, feel gross about it. Cause I'm like, what the fuck are we doing, guys? Like, we are like daily fighting battles with 3-letter agencies. And here you come, like, after like one of our largest exchanges are getting slapped with fucking fines and CEOs stepping down. Uh, Open, tons of DeFi protocols taken down, slapped with fines this year. You're going to bring even more eyes and more attention to us by uh, attracting 500 million of TVL via a multi-level marketing scheme.
mm.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
It's
fucking
like
hurtful.
Herbalife
Like,
2.0 on chain. Herbalife on chain.
yeah, so that is
But with native
why
yield though.
it
Points.
bothers me
Points.
a lot. Like, I don't care about the points. Like, you want to fucking, like, have a point system. I think that's fake and stupid too. Like, but go ahead and do it. No hate on, like, trying new things out, but the MLM thing, like, I think stained it from the beginning. I think this will be like I think this is like a big clout thing, right? Like, where you fuck up so bad in the beginning that even if you rebrand, like, and try to push the product, like, you've lost. Uh, like
Yeah,
it,
you change
it's
it from blast to blown up. It's just not going to work out. But
Blasted.
I'm still blasted. Yeah. I'm just about these points though. I'm actually curious. It's not fucking around. Like they call it points to get around instead of saying shares or something like this. So the points are
Yeah.
redeemable for what? Nike shoes in the metaverse or
well, they make the
hoodies,
points. They
Travel.
make the points. They make
travel,
they allow you to
restaurants,
redeem tokens
Mhm.
later for your points, but only from.
Merch.
hotels.
Mm.
but only from approved, like, regions. So then you have, like, all this TVL, all this traction that you've picked up, but you don't distribute your token to anyone who's, like, outside of
And you
anyone who's
have
in
to
the U.S. or
KYC to
sanctioned
get the
countries.
token.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Mm.
I said this with Friend Tech, right? Like, people were getting all hyped about the points and shit. I don't know how many times I said it. Like, I said
Oh
there's a
yeah.
non-zero chance that you don't get any tokens, that your points are just able to be used within app, like it fucking says in the app. Um, I don't know. Sorry, I could read. and,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
Reading is
then,
fundamental.
at this point, it's probably on one of the paradigms like off the shelf regulatory, arbitrage plays, right?
Mm.
yeah,
Because if
but
they
if you
already
looked,
if they
it
already
said,
did all
like,
the legal research for Frentech, then we just take it off the shelf, dust it off, hand it over to Mr. Pac-Man. Be like, hey, look, this is a playbook you can use.
yeah, for
Mm.
Frentex, it said if there is to be a token, that it wouldn't be for 3 years after, like, substantial development on like the app was, completed.
Yeah, but I mean that's not like a legal and binding. I don't think technically because it's
Yeah,
not an
yeah, I know.
agreement. It's not an
I know
agreement.
in no way it's legal or binding. I'm just pointing out that they were very specific in that points are not that you're not getting airdrop tokens anytime soon, right? Like you had all these people who have the brains of fucking goldfish that are farming, for an airdrop that they're not even going to be involved in crypto by the time that they get the tokens or by the time that it's stated that they would get the tokens if there were to be a token. So it's like it's just psyops on psyops to get people to use like the platform. Uh, and yeah, they do this with Blast now. You got everyone depositing over there. They could have done. I think they would have attracted just as much TVL, if not more, if they didn't have the fucking MLM Ponzi. Like you could have still done points. You could have architected it to be the same fucking Ponzi in the background and just not been transparent about the multipliers. like like and nobody would say a fucking word about it. But you had to make a hot card and a dedicated page on the landing page that showcased the pyramid in which I was entering.
Yeah, well, that's I
They
mean
made a
that's
pyramid a rectangle.
well, I mean
That's
that's
it.
the it's like, oh well, if I am a person that monetizes my user base, then this is a product that I should use, right? This is a product that I should push because the monetization is there for me, right? Instead of spending time versus something else. Um, I mean, technically, our referral program has two layers of this, one subsequent after the main, but we don't have a lot of marketing material pushing any of that stuff, and thus we haven't seen a lot of take up, even though it's like still pretty like it's pretty favorable in the way things are spread out. But we haven't marketed as such, right? And so that's why
I think I could market it. I could start the
hey man,
market.
there's like 30 grand in there right now. That could have been
Do you
yours.
have a custom link, Marty? Do
No,
you
no,
have a
no.
vxref.me/Marty?
No, I need one of those.
Okay.
You need to call.
But
I don't know if you should do Marty. Maybe you do like Vol Pimp or something. I don't know.
no, you should just do Loris.
You should do
Loris,
holy
dude.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's
vxref.me
it.
slash Loris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mine
that's
slash
it.
cozy. I could always use, the referrals if you're looking to trade on Premia, not financial advice, obviously. We are all employees of Premia. But I have a beautiful, a very elegant ref link, vxref.me/cozy, that is available for you.
All right,
But
I got
does it
another
give
thing.
any points? Any
Marty,
points?
you probably have your finger on the pulse best here, but I don't know, maybe not. So talk to me about this Argentinian president. I've been watching some of his videos this weekend, and he is the crazy that I love to see.
Oh yeah, this guy is fucking great. So I was I'm in Brazil. I'm close to Argentina, but I have a lot of Argentine friends, and I was there for a month in January, and it's fucking wild, dude. All the people don't pay taxes, all because it doesn't make any sense. When you rent a car, or sorry, when you buy a car, or buy a house, your payment goes up every month. When you rent a shop, for your store, your rent goes up every single month. The minimum wage actually increases every single month. It's a fucking mess. Like you go exchange your money, on Monday, and on fucking Wednesday, it's different. The coffee changes. The coffee price changes every fucking day on the board. There's no prices on the menu or online because it just fucking changes. It's a fucking absolute mess. So this guy is great, dude. He's a fucking cosplayer. He just doesn't give a fuck. He just wants to fire everybody. And what else is there to lose? Inflation's already over 100% a year.
He's got an
So
emo
what
haircut.
is there
He's got a killer
to?
emo
He's a
haircut,
fucking rocker, dude. He's like a rock band guy.
dude.
What is
I
there to
mean,
lose?
he just goes into these like manic fucking monologues that are like super powerful. I get the charisma for sure. Like, and
Yeah, it's Rizma.
And he's not wrong, right? Like the stuff he says is not wrong. Is he considered like a populist? I don't know, but whatever he is, I like whatever party he is. He's off the cuff, just off the rails. Says whatever comes to his mind. That's the kind of crazy I want.
It's a little different. It's a little different. Like in Portuguese and in Spanish, for sure. Like people say fuck and curse words and all that shit, and it's like totally
he's making up
normal.
Spanish words.
Yeah, he's just fucking rolling it off the tongue.
Yeah,
but it's way more calm. Like if Joe Biden was like, "Oh fuck them, fuck that," people would be so repulsed. I'd fucking laugh, but people would be so repulsed. Like, oh my god, how did the president say this?
Well, he's talking about like all the politicians. He talks about all the politicians and how he's like, yeah, he's just like, look, like if you're not willing to take the the downsides that the people are. He's like, we're representative of the people. We don't exist without the people. We should have the same rules with the people. And what he says, like, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. He got the people's vote. He's going to drain the swamp. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's no wall, but there is a swamp to be drained. Yeah, but it's just
this is the Argentinian,
and also in Argentina, pretty much. He's a little more crazier, I think.
Yeah, he's definitely.
He's fucking crazy. They have, I think they're the next largest holder of physical USD bills outside of America. It's like, what? Like when you go there, you can just pay shit in dollars. So if that's what they're gonna peg it to the dollar, then more inflows of dollars. It's like fucked up. Like if you want to create a company there, you can't, like, freedom of money isn't a thing. Like if you have a company there, you can't like get the money out, sort of shit. It's like a restricted currency to trade. Yeah, total capital control. So if they fix that, if they fix the capital controls, if they do get inflow of USD, up only, time to start fucking Marty's fine meats and.
Dude, we gotta start buying some property in Argentina, dude.
That's the thing is you can't on some shit you can't buy. Just like in Brazil, you can only buy in the city. You can't buy in like a rural area. So. And you can't buy like something weird, like 10 miles from the Chilean border or something. I don't know. It's all,
that makes sense.
So I can't have land down there. I have to live like.
You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna fucking buy a farm in Iowa. Like bumfuck middle of nowhere,
like China.
So you can't do that. So unless you're Argentinian, I don't know. Fucking buy it through a friend.
The whole point is like I want to move to another country and not live in the city. I want to live like out in, not like totally out in nowhere, but like you want a little land. You're going there so your money stretches. Like why would you want to live?
No, you could do this
in the city.
No. It's like you couldn't buy like land in the Amazon, right?
Yeah,
but you could buy a farm. You could buy a farm outside of the city, outside of the town. Like there's a whole fucking dude. So funny. There's like rich Brazilian cowboys, and they have fucking show horses and cattle.
It's a huge livestock market. It's the second biggest in the world. No,
we ship to you guys. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's either the first or second biggest livestock market in the world.
It's insane. Yeah. So there's a whole place called Goiás. And it's just like rich cowboys, dude. It's hilarious. Like they wear cowboy boots and fucking, gator boots. They got it, dude. It's hilarious.
All right, riddle me this though. I mean, we're getting way off crypto topic, but my understanding of Brazilian farmland is that it is a very sandy soil and thus needs a lot of pesticides is the right word? Fertilizer? It needs a lot of fertilizer.
Yeah. Good thing we're part of BRICS, baby.
Post Russia-Ukraine sanctions, it's been a little bit difficult to farm in Brazil. Can you confirm or deny? Do you have anything about that?
I know the price has gone up, but there's no there's no, what do they call it? Sanctions against Brazil. There's Russia, right? We freely trade. So we got all the oil, we get all the fertilizer. It's BRICS, baby. Like our president will talk shit about Israel.
Of course. course.
and Hamas, but he won't fucking say shit about Putin. You know, like that's his buddy, dude. They fucking play backgammon on the fucking weekends. Rick's.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So yeah, no, but price is higher because there's less of it. You know, demand is still high. But I never felt like, oh my god, the grocery store's empty.
But I mean, Brazil is a massive food producer, right? Whether it be meat or whether it be agriculture.
Everything.
Big fucking country.
Dude, we're tokenizing fucking ag land.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Why not?
with our CB, with our fucking, what are they calling it now? It's not. It's so dumb. They could have called it the digital real, right? The
Mhm.
fucking digital Brazilian real. So easy, and they decided to call it Drex, whatever the fuck that means,
It
right?
kind of
But
sounds
it's
like
an
Judge Dredd, kind of reminds me
yeah,
of the image, right? It gives me that like a police image.
yeah. So it's a wholesale, only for trade, only for bank to bank payments. It's not going to be, person to person at first. So I guess that leads us back into the crypto because Brazil is doing their pilot program and South Korea is doing their pilot program with 100,000 people for a CBDC for in-store payments. Did you read
Hmm.
anything about that?
You've seen? Well, I mean, obviously, some of this is conspiracy kind of, going down that rabbit hole. But obviously, China has implemented some of this stuff, but because facial recognition is for a lot of things in China overall, right? That whole system is integrated. I still think that the way that the West pushes that social credit system is probably worse than it actually is. But I don't know. I don't live in China.
I like it. I kind of like it.
But it makes things easier, that's for sure. But I saw that like there are some stores that will limit, won't even open the doors for you if your face comes up with so not only can you not even pay, right? You can't even get in the store.
Can't even get in. Yeah, like I saw that. Like you can't leave the neighborhood, right? Because they gated off the neighborhood. Like I'm not a fan of that. But if all you had to do is fucking scan your face to pay, we're implementing this in some stores. I'll sign up.
Yeah,
Right? Like but like if you're locking the store and freedom of access, I'm not down for it. But
I'm not all right with the face payment. I like that I have the choice to use my face to unlock my phone.
they have the
to
hand
give
too.
access to my. I like that there's not a database with my. I mean, I know there is, right? Like,
oh yeah,
but
there's been for 20 years, dude.
yeah. I'm saying like there's not a payment processor. I'm trusting right now that the government who is having our database of all of our info, right? Like it's these third parties who start doing it where all the leaks happen in mass. Like I'm not for the social credit system, Marty. I'm not for scanning my face for things. I like to be able to give my son my credit card and have him go and buy something with it. They shouldn't have to scan, under 10-year-old's face to, pay for shit with my money.
Well, I'm all in for all that payment shit, all of that. I'm just not in for blocking access. When you're
Yeah.
like, oh, you can't buy a fucking train ticket because you're fucking dog shit and you didn't pick it up. Like,
Okay, so that's where I know it's overstated because as far as the travel restrictions go and some of the access restrictions go, it's strict tied to essentially bankruptcy, unwilling to pay, but you have enough money in your bank account to pay it. Right. So like the next logical step would be for them to go through court of law and then actually, either put a lien on that money, confiscate those funds, whatever. It's like you saying that you have 5K in debt that you owe to a bank or a debtor or something, and then you have 100K in a different bank account, and you're just saying, I'm not going to pay it. I don't want to pay it. I'm going to keep my 100 grand. Then it goes into this, it's actually a social credit. It's actually like a credit platform. It's implementing what it's supposed to do of you are not allowed to do these things because you took out a loan and then you are not going to pay it back. You refuse to pay it back. You're just trying to default on it. Which
you give them an inch, they take a mile.
Yeah, but I get it.
Like this, where they're just putting
unchecked power. I get it.
Yeah. The problem is that time and time again, we allow for this infrastructure to be put in place, and we say it's okay because they're only doing X. And then 5 years from them, they start doing Y. Then a psyops terror attack happens, and now Y turns into A through Z that they're allowed to do, and their scope has wildly expanded. And now they're fucking, scanning us every time we open the bathroom stall door in a public restroom.
I mean,
Like,
I got a good
No,
example of this.
like shit like that is lame. Like the freedom of access is insane.
I have a good,
where
I
it
have a good
leads
example
to,
of this actually. In the U.S., there was this methodology that they said was optional when they did it. I don't know, 7-10 years ago, whatever, right? And it's a way for you to authorize the immigration status of, I think it was just for authorizing immigration status of an employee. And if you're running a business in which you need to make sure that they have a green card or whatever, right? And so they go in, they verify that they have, legal immigration status and they have the right to work in the country. And then it was an optional solution that you could utilize if you were going to enforce that at like the business level. And there's some piece of legislation that is, that they're trying to push into law now, which would make that like mandatory for businesses and mandatory for like bank access and stuff in the U.S. I could be getting some of this off, so correct me if I'm wrong. But essentially, that's the thing. Or 7 years ago, it was optional, but next year they're trying to make it mandatory, which is like it's just like with the biggest way to like enslave a person is to completely remove their access to banking, based on if they're if they're living in a country illegally or something like this. It's like you would cut them at the knees. And so like that
Is that good or bad? Is that good or bad? If you're not a citizen or if you're not a green card holder, then why should you have access to a bank? And why are you allowed to stay in a country if you're there legally?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's for like the sanctuary cities, if they're like trying to, force them out, because I know that the cost to support those is
High.
insane in the US right now. Absolutely insane. And there's no like, well, I think we
I'm
talked
for that.
there's no,
I don't know. I got to
like,
read up on that, but I think I'm for that. Like, if you're there legally, just come legally. And I know some people you're fucking listening and they're going to be a hater, but yeah, whatever. Come legally. Go somewhere else. Go to Canada.
Yeah, if you do that, though,
Canada will take
you
you.
need to open up like refugee status stuff, and you need like some sort of like global. And this is again, you take a little bit, you give a little bit. I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but like a global way to check the criminality, right? Like if you're seeking refugee status, but you're a known criminal in another country, then
You're not welcome.
you're not welcome, right? But there's no way to check that right now, so there's no way to like pick winners and losers. So, but then again, do we want
like when I got my ID, when I got my not my ID, my status, my Brazilian status, they made me do a FBI background check, and then you have to translate it and shit like this and get it apostilled. It's like a fucking nightmare of a process. But it's verified, or it's from the FBI, and it's verified by whatever the DOD or whatever Department of Defense or whoever it was, right? Homeland Security, whoever the entity was. And then that's what I had to bring to the federal police here to get my status. So that should be the same thing. You should have to prove that you're not a criminal to get some sort of status if you wanted to move to a new country. I think that's totally fair. You can't just show up, oh, I'm claiming asylum, and you're a murderer. You have to prove that you're not. So
can't be taking in them murderers. All right, to loop this back to crypto, since we're talking about crime.
sign up your face and get a CBDC and scan at the grocery store.
No, one thing I can't believe right now is
Did we lose
that
DK?
Richard Hart. Is he frozen? Yeah, he's frozen. All right, he's coming back. I see him moving. I don't know. Maybe we lost him, but one thing I can't believe is that they still haven't caught Richard Hart. Richard Hart, the SEC was supposed to have, they were supposed to have like a video conference with him in a couple days here, tomorrow. But the Ministry of Justice of Finland has not reported that they've been able to serve him yet.
He's in
Rich,
Finland. Just random.
yeah, Richard Hart is like one of the funniest characters of like crypto's time. I think. Like I remember like watching his evolution has been really funny. Like I
I still don't
remember.
know how he made all that money. Like Hex, like people actually used it. Like Jesus Christ.
Well, he was doing some questionable stuff prior. You could look, you could Google it. There's some uh, maybe like Reddit posts or 4chan like threads about it, but
Fuck yeah.
there's there's probably plenty of YouTube videos talking on like his controversies. But DK, when you before you left us or as you
I,
froze, what I
I
was
I could
saying
hear you
is
guys for. I could hear you guys. I don't know.
okay.
I was frozen.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
didn't. Your fucking social credit score went down, dude.
Dude, I
You weren't allowed to
it actually
stream
was
anymore,
happening
dude.
live, dude. They disconnected me live. They just
Oh,
throttled down
really?
my bandwidth because of it. Because I was talking.
Yeah, yeah. You had 100
Uh,
megs, now you have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he when he first started getting big, he was doing his podcasts and he had one of the better, YouTube shows, podcasts that were out at the time, in regards to like quality, like video quality, production
BitBoy
quality.
quality or Wendy quality?
No, it was like traditional interview style where he would have people on and, pick their brain, talk to them about what they were doing. Um, but he had this like throne that he sat in. He probably still sits in it now for his streams, but it was like a cool aesthetic that it had, added to the interview. But he wasn't a full grifter at the time, right? Like it seemed like he had made money in Bitcoin. He was pretty far on like the Bitcoin maximal scale, and then he started to kind of split, and I think that was like around the time of like the BCH, BTC fork, um, and then lead into Hex once that the Bitcoin Cash drama ended, then to PulseX, and then like he went into his whole like influencer arc. And now wanted fugitive on the run in Finland. SEC can't get in touch with them.
Probably just crossed over, dude. He's probably just seeking asylum and fucking Russia. Probably just walked over.
I don't know how he's like one of the most noticeable people, like recognizable people in the in like the crypto
Space in
ecosystem.
the
I just think it's
yeah.
like he's not like it's not like Sam, right? Trabuco, where there's a ton of like sloppy looking white guys that could be him. Like like Richard Hart is like Florida man, right? Like he has a very distinct look to him. uh, other thing,
Yeah, he
okay,
probably
so
just
what?
fucking walked over to Russia and was like, "I'm here to claim asylum, but I don't have any paperwork. Can I stay?"
What I said something earlier about how like I think that like all of the doom and gloom is kind of behind us, and like I don't really see how there could be an event that could shock like the market in a way like a Binance takedown or FTX debacle did. But one just came to me. Uh, there was a report that Tron has become like the blockchain used for transferring like illicit money. It's
Oh,
taken
really?
over. Yeah, it's overtaken Bitcoin in terror financing, according to a report this morning.
Because it
And
was $1 to send it, not three.
Well, dude, everything sun related has been getting hit the last
yeah, so
6 weeks.
now it is a like I don't know. It's a well-known but undocumented like fact that Justin Sun holds up a good portion of DeFi. A lot of the money in DeFi is Justin's. So what happens if they come for him next? You know, like it
I don't know, but Argentina's fucked, dude. They use fucking USDT on Tron for everything. You could fucking pay in a store with it.
that could be that is, in my opinion, the only other thing like event that could happen that would like that would be as bad or as big in regards to like the impact it will have on the market as like you know a Binance getting shut down or something. Like I don't think people really understand how much money he has in DeFi.
He's the final straw. That would be it, right? You already took out
he
everybody else.
he is the final boss, kind of.
Yeah, all eyes are on him, dude. The Sunsters.
Like who else is there? You know, the only other kind of main character who's never really been like a main character was like Jesse, and they're already going at Kraken.
No, dude.
Jesse's fucking standing up for himself now, dude.
He
Dude,
always has.
He's tired of getting fucking bullied.
Brian.
Egghead.
what if
I
like
guess they. I
the
guess they could take over
Vitalik dude would
Coinbase.
be like existential?
Vitalik.
Yeah,
Yapping.
they're not going after fucking Vitalik.
I know they won't, but I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to spice things up,
Mm-hmm.
Vitalik and Jtron. Those are the two Black Swan events left.
unmask Satoshi, get real spicy.
Yeah, but yeah, the fucking
What if the
was
unmasking
government.
Satoshi was the NSA the whole time?
Dun, dun, dun. Wow. Couldn't have figured
I've
that
said
one
that
out.
before.
You guys have all been using Fed money the whole time.
Yeah. You're worried about scanning your face? Gotcha.
I went through a period where I was like hyper obsessed with and really bullish on like all privacy coins because that was like I really believed that Bitcoin itself was just a psyop to get people to use traceable money.
For
We should
sure
do
it
it. We should do
is.
a set. There's like a lot of cool stuff. We should just spend some time researching and look at like the Aztec 2.0s, the Iron Fishes, the secrets. Not Monero because Monero is just boomer privacy coins, right?
Yeah. Zcash.
I think isn't like the founder
Monero
of Z, didn't
still.
like the founder of Zcash like give up on Zcash?
Yeah, he's a.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
He's like,
for
I tried.
sure.
He's like, I tried on that
Yeah.
update they did like 2 years ago, and he's like, that. I mean, I used to have Zcash is just the way that they made it is just like so hard to use, and they like use the full privacy feature, which apparently also like people could track on chain because the way that people would
nobody
move money
uses
is they
it.
would do the same thing. They'd put like 1.97 Zcash into the system, and then they take out 1.97 and be like, oh well, this is
Yeah, it's like a
definitely
tornado cash all over again. 100 in, 100 out.
yeah. Privacy pools doesn't seem like they're working on anymore. We got Offshift, which
Look,
I'm a back
Monero is
holder of.
still. I know there have been some people that think, oh, you can, decrypt Monero transactions with enough hash power and all this shit, but
Yeah, well, NSA's got the back door, right? That Fluffy put in there for him.
Monero is still the only asset that gives three-letter agencies trouble tracking.
Yeah, because it's the only one that moves, that moves it with size there, right? But I don't even think
Yeah,
it's
but
getting much
the
trouble.
terrorists prefer USDT on Tron.
Yeah, I do. That's been something for a while though. Like Tron has been being used, like their USDT specifically, has been being used by not just like terrorists, but has been preferred by exchanges transferring money to each other. I know of like some desks and funds that use Tron USDT, and this is from like years ago, like prior to it even being like as big as it is now. And I used to think it was so weird. I was like, why would you use USDT on Tron? Like, just
Because
don't
it's
get it.
instant.
But
It's so
yeah,
fast.
but it
There's
is.
a
It's
betting
instant
website
and
that
it
I
doesn't
used to
cost
use.
anything. TronBet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know all
Yeah.
about TronBet.
Vice, even though I don't know if Vice is still around or whatever, but they're still putting
They
out
are.
content. They did a video
started
in like
up
the last
again.
week or two on this. How I think they did 2 videos, and I don't remember if they both had USDT or just the money laundering one did. But essentially, they were trying to launder essentially drug money, and the mechanism for that, how that kind of works, is through like organized crime in Asia through USDT, where I think a lot of those key players are Chinese nationals.
I gotta watch that one because I watched a different one
Especially for the
where
fentanyl movements.
they were transferring. It was like it was highlighting how like there's a large like Chinese mafia presence now in Mexico, and
Mm-hmm.
how they're using they're laundering money through the drug trade back through like regular goods that are being sold in the marketplaces and stuff. So like you sell the drugs and then you use the money to buy the products that are being
Mm-hmm.
made in China, and then you sell those Chinese goods in the marketplaces, and now you have clean money being brought in
I think the
from.
Chinese nationals were even like guaranteeing anything less than 100 million.
Yep, it didn't matter even if they lost the money, like if they had gotten
They would
seized or
guarantee it.
anything
They're so
happened.
confident in their ability to launder it through.
Yep, yep.
Um,
They said that there was guarantees on the money, that it's a calculated loss that they're going to lose so much percent. So
but I think
they
they're probably taking like 30% of it, right? So it's like, you gotta, if you once you as long as you're going 1 for 4 profitable.
yeah, it's just crazy.
Or 3 for 4, I guess is the right way to say that. All right. One last thing I think is Cosmos. You see, Cosmos decided that they were going to take their inflation rate down from 14 to 10%, and then
Mm-hmm.
Jaquan, different than Doquan. Jaquan, I think, was he one of the founders, or he was like one of the? I think he was one of the large technical leads at the beginning. And I
Yep.
think that there was something that he did in the past, and then everyone kind of like sidelined him. But he's still like kind of in the community. He just doesn't have the rapport that he used to. But he came out and was like, "Let's fork it." And so like when they said going from 14 to 10% inflation, the price went down, and then Jaquan was like, fork it. And then that's what caused the price to kind of pump. And then I saw that like a bunch of CT were like, we haven't hit a cycle until Atom starts pumping.
Uh-oh.
So
Uh-oh. Start of the cycle.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Just saying.
It used to be Ethereum is the end of the cycle. That when Ethereum pumps,
Well, the second time. When Ethereum pumps the second time, it's the end of the cycle.
Yeah. It's got to play catch up.
It'll pump once,
Yeah,
then it'll take 6 months, then it'll pump again, and that's the exit pump. That's the UTAD. You know what I mean? Back when I used to know trading terms, up thrust after distribution, the UTAD. I always get wrecked on that UTAD, dude. That's why I remember it so clearly.
You used to get wrecked on that, you said?
Oh yeah, back when I thought it was a trader. Yeah. Now I'm just a dev. No more trading.
One thing I saw kind of cool is the American Cancer Society partnered with Gitcoin.
Yeah, so did Shell.
Yeah, well, let's not focus on Shell.
Oh, we got a cherry pick. We
Yeah,
got a
we're
cherry pick. Okay,
here.
fine.
It's more that like that organizations that you wouldn't see uh, involving themselves or associating with crypto are now doing it. I think that's kind of the part that's cool to see. Like everyone always asks, where is mass adoption? When mass adoption? But like, I see it happening every day right in front of our faces. It's just that like what people want is everybody like using crypto instead of dollars when they think of mass adoption.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, when I see things like this is like quote unquote mass adoption, because you're having these behemoth organizations either interested in or finding ways to integrate and use crypto as infrastructure, whether that be for payments or for transparency purposes or security,
Okay.
whatever it may be.
How are they going to use it though? Are they going to be funding like projects that are trying to push science? Like, or are they
They're
going to be pushing
leveraging
like philanthropic efforts? They're going to be pushing
funding. Yeah, they're pushing into
research.
for decentralized open source cancer research funding.
Hmm. Have you been looking into the DeSci stuff at all?
The what?
DeSci, centralized
Not
science.
really.
Science. So,
Not really.
so I've been only looking at them because of the way that
Outside of AI.
the way that they're structuring IP agreements. So it's essentially like, you know how the song, the NFT song NFTs is kind of working where like, you can issue a copy of the song on chain and all the holders of that NFT split the revenue over a certain time period, right? I don't think
Yeah, I
that they
think
have full
actually
IP
like
rights yet, but they
I
do
think
have,
the Euler
shared.
model is a great model for like independent artists distributing music. Um, do you remember how Euler had done it? Or Euler, sorry, Euler.
Yeah. The bonding curve, I think, right?
Yeah, I think that is like a great model for independent artists to distribute music.
Yeah, that was, I mean, so that idea of if I issue this, on chain, I'm sharing the IP. Imogen Heap was actually the first one to do this on chain, way back when. But like, I'm going to issue this album on chain, and all the holders of this NFT that helped, create this, will share in the revenue, right? So I'll split the revenue with them. I maybe have 50% of those NFTs, but I split the other 50% with the ones that help me fund, get the recording time, whatever it may be, right? And so that idea of funding research, and then if it results in a beneficial product, specifically, I think most of DeSci is around biology. I could be completely wrong on this. I've not spent a lot of time on it, but like biologic research, let's say for an example, if this funded research, let's say they raised $2 million for a group of 6 postgrads to work for 2 years on something, let's say, and that research leads to some sort of product that is marketable, then because you funded it, you share in those IP rights, and like that's all built in. It's all like legal signed off. It is you have the future sales rights as a funder, and it's all tracked on chain. And they've been pushing this IP side of things a lot. The DeSci world has. And so it's an alternative to just, either not getting funded or getting funded by Pfizer and, like pharma side of things. And then all of anything that they create goes to Pfizer, right? So it's a different methodology where you don't have to kind of like, sell out at the beginning if you have a promising thing you want to look into. I forgot where I was going with this, but that shared IP process of funding research today, and then you can capitalize on any future benefits, any future value that's created, is pretty interesting to me.
Sorry, I was muted. What we were talking about was your current interest in DeSci.
But before that, I brought up DeSci
and then
because
it led into music, and IP and
no, but I
like
brought
that.
up DeSci because I wanted to share with you the IP funding, or the the future value funding.
Yeah.
But
love
whatever
that
you're talking
stuff.
about before that, I was trying to make I forgot.
I was talking about the American Cancer Society working
Yes,
with,
that's what it was.
partnering with Gitcoin to, I don't know, set up something for like decentralized open source funding of cancer research.
Yeah, so that's another method of kind of funding this research, right? Is that DeSci route. There's a
I
few
want to fund independent scientists. Like, you always watch.
mad
I'm trying to think of
scientists,
some
16-year-old mad scientists.
not necessarily mad scientists, although I totally would. I mean, I technically do that now.
Yeah, dude, uranium is not cheap.
He knows too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish that I could fund some more of the like independent ones, right? Like I'm trying to think of the one doctor's name, but there was a doctor that got a lot of heat, and it was pretty much like his whole career dragged through uh, legal court systems, and supposedly he had developed a way to combat and beat certain types of cancers, and they dragged him, sued him, and like he won, I think, like pretty much every lawsuit that the U.S. brought against him. Um, but he was just like a small like doctor down in Texas that was doing some stuff.
He's the
Like I would
harmonics guy.
totally. Uh,
I know that there's a guy that like similar to how like a microwave works, where it spins
no, that wasn't this.
a water molecule to create friction, and that's how it kind of heats up the food. Is that
Mhm.
he was able to essentially create a similar resonating frequency of cancer cells and cause them to die out by just targeting with essentially the similar types of resonating frequency waves. I don't know. Who knows?
I would totally fun. I would totally fund shit like that. Um, I would more so than like any other thing in crypto. I have cancer and like the horrors that it brings. Is as a close, special, dark place in my heart.
Yeah,
And
there's a lot
yeah, I
of
would
cancer research I think that doesn't really get too far. That should. There's like
because there's a
dietary
ton of
stuff.
bureaucracy involved. Like yeah, that's what we could have like a whole episode just talking about that. That's
Yeah,
like one of the things that pisses me off the most when like your family or you yourself, if you unfortunately were diagnosed with cancer, and you're going in to talk to these doctors and like they're not nutritionists, so they're
and
telling you to
yeah,
do things that are terrible for your health.
and they're only
Uh,
and they aren't going to tell you what they've been fed, right? Like I'd say,
yeah, yeah.
most
Oh, that
doctors are only going to regurgitate what they learned in doctor school, which
correct.
could be completely outdated, and that's what I found with doctors and vets. So
I have doctors in my family, and I've argued with them, about this in the past. That like, um, I think that certain types of specialists, like doctors, they should also be nutritionists because you can't understand the totality of um, treatment for an individual if you don't know like the root cause and how to combat that with just the things that we have available to ourselves. And yeah, one of those things is like sugar, and
mhm,
protein and
mhm.
things like that. So one thing that really pissed me off with my mom when we were going for her treatments and stuff was that they were, when she was uh, lacking protein, and it was causing like really severe complications for her, like withholding water in like just her body. um, they were telling her to like drink Ensure. Like, yeah, yeah, you're just gonna want to drink Ensure. And I'm like, why the fuck would you tell her to drink Ensure? Like, sugar is like literally killing her.
Mhm.
She needs the amount of protein in that. She could get 5 times that amount by eating like a spoonful of chia seeds, or like stirring a spoonful of chia seeds and like literally anything that she's drinking. She would get the protein she needs plus some, and she's not putting into her body any of this additional sugar or other shit that's like literally killing her. So yeah, the whole I totally agree with you. Like there's it's like tunnel vision because you're so focused on an area to be an expert in that you dismiss or the other things just take a back seat and aren't as important. It's like I've learned that if I follow these steps that this is the way that we address this, and if it's not this, then we go down this path and we do these things, rather than considering that there are uh, like other natural ways that could potentially help. That not everything needs to be like chemical injection into a human's body to play with it like a little experiment. So yeah, if there was like Dr. CB still around, if there are other Dr. CBs, I would fund those motherfuckers real quick.
Yeah, I mean they exist. It's just like they're difficult to find, and they're difficult to get to, and you need to have the resources to like fly out to Arizona to this specialized doctor who has what some would recall a call as like homeopathic or like natural remedies that even though they're like doctors, and they actually have like they're pretty expensive to use because they can't take in all the all the people that they can. They don't have enough bandwidth to take on everyone, but they have really good track records, right? But like this is something you need a lot of time and money and resources to do. So finding more people along that path, I think, definitely need a way to get them seen for sure.
I started believing in a lot of that more as I got older and started being exposed to people who were more along the, I guess, homeopathic routes of care. Like even for, I think the first time I became like a real believer was I got burned really bad cooking, frying chicken on my stove. I had the chicken in a basket. It was not ready to go into the hot oil, and I was doing something, and the basket slipped. The chicken fell in, and it was just like a volcano, like went off. Like oil was like splattering everywhere, and my hand got hit, and like all up my arm got hit, and immediately I had a blister on my hand that was like 2 inches tall and like a third of my hand. It was fucking gigantic, and I didn't go to the hospital or anything. Although I probably should have at first, but her aunt was like, just take aloe. Like I have a bunch of aloe plants at my house. She's like, take
Real
aloe.
aloe, not the
Yep,
green
real
tube
aloe,
stuff.
not the
Yep.
green tube stuff. Like real aloe plants.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, cut off a leaf, slice that in half, so that you can kind of open it up, and bandage that over the burn, like just like the meat of the aloe and everything, like bandage that on there, leave it, for most of the day, take it off to let it breathe and change it out, and keep that on it for the next few days. And within a few days, like not only had it like started healing, but it was significantly smaller. And after like 2 weeks, I went to the doctor just to make sure that like I was good because it healed pretty well. And the doctor was like totally blown away. Like, I don't know what you did like to fix it, to heal yourself, but it looks amazing. And I explained, I'm like, I haven't used anything. I used aloe, like just like right from the plant. And they were like really, really surprised that just using aloe would like fix my burn like this.
They don't have
But
that in
then
the
from
cabinet. That's
then,
why probably.
yeah, I don't have the aloe in the cabinet. It's not in the
The
textbook.
supplier didn't bring that to the cabinet, so
Yep,
don't
no,
think.
no fresh aloe for them. So yeah, like from then on, I became more of a believer in like trying out some of the voodoo witchcraft type ailment healing methods, and a lot of the shits worked. Even like after our first uh, our first son, there's like a month worth of um, healing that kind of they go through in her culture, and there's like a lot of uh, extra things that you do during that time period to help get the toxins like out of your body to make your body go back to like the shape it was before. And you're doing like ginger and alcohol baths and like steam baths and like saunas, and like hot rocks, on your body to like um, help melt and move, things around. And um, I don't know scientifically, like what's happening. What I do know is that, after that 30 days, um, my son's mother had shed, like all of her weight, was like completely back to her normal size. There was no like additional like baby weight hanging around. She looked like completely normal. Um,
I hate to cut you off, but I got to jump, so we should wrap it up.
all good. We're at the 12:30 mark anyway. Thank you all for joining us. Everyone in the Senko chat, throw in your Garys, your Glizzies. We appreciate them. We'll catch you back in 2 days on Wednesday. Enjoy your week. Ciao.
Adios.
The 2 finger salute.